Hello everyone, my name is Julio Bello and today I'm going to talk about foundation on slope. This topic is part of our civil engineering foundation course and it is very important because in real life many buildings and structures are not built on flat land. Instead, we often need to build on areas with a slope like hillsides, valleys, or uneven terrain. When we build on a slope, the foundation must be careful, designed to resist sliding and to stay stable under the weight of the structure. If we, is, if we don't take care of this, the building could move or collapse, especially during heavy rain or obstacles. So understanding how to build foundation slope is essential for safety and durability. Now let's start talking about why slope can be a problem when building. A slope is basically a surface that is inclined compared to a flat ground. When we place a structure on it, the weight of the building and the natural force of gravity both and downwards. This, gas, this can cause movement in the soil which we call slope instability. Sometimes the soil can move slowly or it can fall suddenly, producing what we call a landslide. Because of that, engineering must always study the soil before starting construction. We need to know what type of soil we have, for example, if it is clay, sand, or rock, and how much water it contains. This information helps us decide the best type of foundation for that terrain. Now let's talk about the type of foundation used on slope. There are mainly two types, shallow foundation and deep foundation. Shallow foundation are used when the surface soil is strong enough to support the building. They are simple and sharper, but they are not always good for steep slope. Example of shallow foundation are steep footing and mud foundation. On the other hand, deep foundation are used when the surface soil is weak or unstable. These include pillars and drill shafts, which transfer the load to deeper and stronger soil layers. Their foundations are more expensive, but they give better stability and help prevent sliding. Sometimes engineering also build in retaining wall or use reinforced soil to support the foundation. This structure helps hold back the soil and reduce the risk of slope failure. Now let's continue with some techniques that engineers use to make a slope more stable. Of the most common technique is drainage control. When water accumulation in the soil, it reduces strength and increases the risk of landslide. So we install drainage pipe or channel to remove excess water and keep the slope dry. Another method is called soil reinforcement, where we add materials like geotextiles, steel bars, or concrete to make the soil stronger. In some cases, we also use terracing, which means cutting the slope into several flat steps so that the load is distributed more evenly. All these techniques are part of what we call slope stabilization engineering. Now let's move to why this topic is so important in real life. In many civil engineering projects, we need to apply this knowledge. For example, when we build road bridges of oaks in mountains areas. A good example is the construction of highways through regions where the slope movement could instability to prevent rock and soil from falling. If foundation are not well designed, the consequence can be very serious. There have been many accidental and building failures caused by poor people analysis that we engineering must always combine theory and practice to make sure the design are safe. Finally, let's talk about the main conclusion. Building foundation on a slope is one of the most challenging part of civil engineering. It requires a good understanding of soil behavior, drainage, and structural design, choosing the correct type of foundation, shallow or deep depends on the soil condition and the angle of the slope. With proper design, stabilization technique, and good supervision during construction, we can build safe and durable structure even on difficult terrains. Thank you for listening to my presentation about foundation on slope. I hope you enjoyed it, learning sometimes new day.